Hello, welcome to Spirited Debate. I'm Lauren Green. Historic news just announced from the Vatican. For the first time in history, a Roman Catholic Pope will meet with a Russian Orthodox patriarch. On February 12th, Pope Francis will meet Patriarch Kirill of Moscow. The meeting will take place on neutral territory, Havana, Cuba, as the Pope makes his way to Mexico. For 3 decades, there's been tense Catholic-Russian Orthodox relations, but the breach really goes back centuries to the first schism in the Christian church. And repairing the divide was a dream of Pope John Paul II and a missed opportunity for the retired Pope Benedict XVI. Now, here to explain more of what this could mean for the future of the church is Father Gerald Murray. He's a Catholic Church expert. Welcome, Father Murray.
Thank you, Lauren. Good to be here.
So explain in lay terms why this is such an historic event.
This is a big deal because Patriarch Kirill represents 160 million Orthodox Christians in Russia, and that's by far the largest group of Orthodox Christians in the world. So therefore, he really is a center of gravity in trying to get a reunion between Orthodox and Catholic. It's a big deal also because Pope Francis is realizing a dream, as you said, of his 2 predecessors, and I would even go back to Pope Paul VI before them. Ever since the Second Vatican Council, the Catholic Church has been trying to promote good relations, close, friendly, and hopefully united relations between Orthodoxy and Catholicism. Now this meeting will take place, and it will be a good step in that direction.
So why has there been such bad blood between the Orthodox churches and the Roman Catholic Church?
Well, as regards the Russian Orthodox, there's been a dispute over the Ukraine. Ukrainian Catholics who are of the Eastern Rite, in other words, they have the same liturgical practices as the Ukrainian Orthodox, they united with Rome, a group of them, back in the 16th century. And when the Soviet Union collapsed, many Catholic parishes that belonged to the Ukrainian Catholic Church were given back to the Catholic Ukrainian Church because they had been taken by Joseph Stalin and given to the Orthodox.
Wow.
That caused problems because the Orthodox, they don't really accept what they call uniate Catholics, meaning Eastern Rite Ukrainian Catholics. They think they should be under the Orthodox. The Catholics say, no, we're under the Pope. So it's been a source of discussion. The Vatican, the Ukrainian Catholics, they try to, find ways to find agreement and solve issues, but there's a lot of resentment there. And Pope Francis very much wants that resentment to be placed aside and the Catholic Church get into serious discussion on fellowship and union.
For being part of the Christian church, for being, the church, part of the church that Jesus created, there certainly is a lot of politics going on.
Isn't that the case? Human life is about politics because that's how we get along, but sometimes we don't get along and then politics takes a different tone. This trip also has a lot to say about persecuted Christians in the Middle East. The press statement issued by the Holy See and the Russian Patriarchate said that the situation of Christians in the Middle East and in Africa requires that these 2 great leaders in Christianity get together, and that's very encouraging.
So now Pope Francis also met with Patriarch Bartholomew in Constantinople, and he's also the spiritual leader for the Orthodox. Explain the relationship that goes on between the Patriarch Bartholomew and the Patriarch in the Russian Orthodox Church, because it's confusing to people who don't understand sort of inside baseball, inside the Catholic Church, or inside the Orthodox Church.
It's true. There's an old expression that there's Rome, then there's the second Rome, which is Constantinople, and then the third Rome is Moscow. And the reason is the Patriarch of the East, the Patriarch of the Byzantine world, was in Constantinople, and he viewed himself as the leader of the Orthodox part of the church when the split came. The Russian Patriarch views himself as subsuming the role of being the protector of Orthodoxy in the world, and therefore the third Rome, Moscow, is the big center. Now, we say as Catholics that it all started with Jesus and St. Peter, and that St. Peter was in Rome and he's the head of the church, and that used to be the common faith until the schism came about the year 1000. But that historical background should not be an obstacle to facing the needs we have right now, which is Christianity has to have a united front in protecting our brothers and sisters in the Middle East and in Africa. And then they're also saying that the unity of Christians is desired by God. That's what Jesus wanted. We have to get rid of human obstacles that keep that from happening.
Are there any hopes for the Protestants at this point? Because, there's the 500th anniversary of the Protestant Reformation coming up in 2017.
It's true. And, in fact, the Pope has announced that he's going to go to Norway for a commemorative event to mark that 500th anniversary. There's always hope for unity in the church, thank God. And theological disputes exist, and they're not based on nothing. They're based on different views of what Jesus intended. But, you know, the Catholic Church has been engaged in what they call official dialogues with different Protestant leaders and groups. That continues, and I think it'll be, you know, a way for Christians to understand the meaning of Christ's words has to be understood and then action taken accordingly.
All right, I want to thank you so much, Father Gerald Murray, for being here talking about this whole new venture in the Christian church.
Thank you, Lauren.
Thanks so much. And thank you for watching. I'm Lauren Green for Spirited Debate.